Good morning, or good day, and welcome to Warrington and Watley Rocks. We're on the 6th Sunday of Easter today, and we're hearing from Rev Trev and Sandra.
This morning's reading is taken from John's Gospel, chapter 5, verses 1 to 9. Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for a feast of the Jews. Now there is in Jerusalem, near the Sheep Gate, a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralysed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I'm trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. This is the word of the Lord.
For me, one of the greatest joys of being a Christian is knowing how much Jesus loves me. His loving kindness and mercy is demonstrated over and over again in the Gospels as he gives complete attention and care to individuals in need. There are lots of examples of this in the Easter season. Take, for example, Jesus on the cross, suffering the most intense pain, physical, mental, and spiritual, and yet finding the time to offer a place in paradise to the penitent thief. And looking at his mother, showing his heartfelt concern for her, and arranging for her care in the home of the beloved disciple John. Consider too the way in which on Easter Day he deals with the anguish of Mary Magdalene and gives to her the honour of being the first person to see him risen. And consider how Jesus dealt with Thomas a week later, after he had stubbornly refused to believe that Jesus was risen, until he had seen the proof before his eyes. What does Jesus do? But deal with Thomas's doubts by inviting him to place his finger where the nails were, where the nails had been, and to place his hand into his side. Then again, what about Peter, who had proudly boasted that he would never leave Jesus, even if all the others did? But he did, and even denied knowing him. What was Jesus' response after his resurrection? But to find time alone with Peter, to ask him 3 times if he really loved him, and then to recommission him to go and build his church. And there are numerous other examples I could have chosen. Having said that, there is nothing like knowing Jesus' love in your own life, and I do. He has brought me healing, answered desperate prayers for calm and inspiration in my final accountancy exam. He has brought me through some tough times in my working life, and in my priestly life has often given me the words to say and shown me how to pray when I've come to the end of my own resources. And that's not to mention the enormous blessing of knowing that he's always with me in the good and the not so good of everyday life. In our Gospel reading, we see Jesus at the pool of Bethesda, where large numbers of disabled people used to lie. There was a belief that an angel of the Lord would come down from time to time and stir the waters. Then the first person to get into the water after the stirring would be cured. Now on this occasion, Jesus' attention turns to a man who he learned had been an invalid for 38 years. The man didn't ask for help. In fact, he is rather resigned to his fate, telling Jesus that every time he has tried to get into the water when it's been stirred, somebody else always beats him to it, and there's no one to help him. This is the reply Jesus got when he asked the man, "Do you really want to get well?" Jesus would have none of the man's negativity and commands him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." And immediately the man was cured. And he did as Jesus commanded, picked up his mat and walked. Why did Jesus pick this man? Who knows? Maybe he was the most severely afflicted. But yet again, it demonstrates Jesus' love and compassion for the individual. 38 years of suffering, and Jesus intervenes, and a whole new life can begin. To the man's credit, he wasn't put off by his past failures when Jesus issued his command. Just like Peter and Thomas, who were able to put their past failures behind them when Jesus intervened on their behalf. The man got his healing when he responded to Jesus. And that was a significant act of faith given after 38 years of suffering and trial. So what about you? Do you know that Jesus really loves you? And are you or a loved one in need of his healing touch at this time? Now may be an appropriate time to pray. So let us come before the Lord in prayer. Seek that closer walk with him, and to seek his healing touch for whatever burdens us at this time. May God bless you all.